And we're not going to keep you guys waiting. I'm about a few seconds out. Just give me a second here. Hey, how's it going, people? Happy Sunday to you. Do we have the audio? Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Anyway, I was going to wait till noon, but it's 11 o'clock. I guess I can go early. It's always noon somewhere. But what are those pesky Russians up to? What are they doing? Are they living up to their hype as murderers and crazed lunatics? Taking over a helpless nation? Or is there something else going on? Something that, just isn't being reported on, maybe? Well, we have, while I let that question burn in your psyche for a little while, if you guys haven't seen anything travel at hypersonic speeds, check this out. This is going to really fry your noodle. That one. That's the one we want right there. Check this out. This thing's freaking crazy. This is one of Russia's hypersonic missiles.
Ебать, это пизда нахуй! Ебать!
Let's have another look at that, shall we?
Вот ебать, это пизда нахуй! Ебать!
Now, if you're wondering why it's glowing like that, like it's a UFO, well, at hypersonic speeds, in lower atmosphere where it's a lot thicker, it literally creates it has a coat of plasma basically around it. It's pretty freaking cool, actually. And that thing looked like it really wanted to get somewhere. Anyway, but that's not... Well, hey, easy there, cowgirl. What's going on here? Want to shift your attention over to, well, just a little something from the other side. What the heck's going on? My mic's a bit loud, eh? It's a little bit hot. A little bit hot. There, let's trim that down a bit. Where's my where are you at here? Check. Oh yeah, it's a little bit warm. Let's bring it down a touch. Check. I can put that back up again. 1, 2. That made my tooth vibrate. Aha. All right. Yeah, check this out. This is I guess they're not saying exactly where the location is. I have a good guess as to where it is. But I mean, what's a guess worth, right? But anyway, check this out. This is quite revealing.
Привет, как тебя зовут? Роман. Как вас зовут? Меня Данил зовут. Привет. Где живете? Вы сейчас хотите сделать...
Hang on. I'll take my damn Noonerino off the subtitles so you can at least read what the fuck's going on. Let's see. Do I have... I'll just do it this way. Boom. And the shadow. There we go. And all right. Oh.
Привет, как тебя зовут? Роман. Как вас зовут? Меня Данил зовут. Привет. Где живете? Вы сейчас хотите сделать эвакуацию выхода. Вот смотрите, слушайте меня внимательно. Мы офицеры российской армии. Мы не воюем против Украины. Тем более мы не воюем против мирных жителей. Хотите сюда? Хотите? Не переживайте, все нормально. Не переживайте. Все хорошо, здравствуйте. Меня зовут Даниил. Я полковник российской армии. Все нормально. Мы сюда пришли по поручению президента Российской Федерации для того, чтобы освободить народ Украины от фашистов, нацистов и тех бандитов, которые сидят у власти. Мы, наоборот, пришли для того, чтобы здесь было чисто и спокойно. Мы не трогаем мирных, не трогаем тем более детей и всех остальных. В той стороне уже зачищено, там чисто. Там наши. Вы можете спокойно сейчас туда выехать, и вы окажетесь в свободном периметре. Понятно? Поэтому мы сейчас вас проводим, вы выйдете. Через пару дней, в ближайшее время, здесь мы организуем гуманитарную помощь. Глава Чеченской Республики Равзак Владимирович Кадыров уже отправляет сюда машины. Совсем необходимо, в первую очередь для детей, лекарства, памперсы, теплая одежда, продукты питания. Организовано будет несколько пунктов, один из которых будет в городе. Понятно? То есть всем желающим могут подойти и получить все необходимое. Также везем лекарства.
I like how they said Pampers. I'm pretty sure they meant diapers, but just how they selectively said Pampers. I mean, it's one of those things, like, you know, like taking aspirin. You know, it's really ASA, but yeah, kiss my ASA. Well, yeah. What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Could it have been staged? Sure. Just like staging that Russians were shooting civilians, or staging that the Ukrainians were staging the shooting of civilians, or that they actually were shooting civilians and staging it that the Russians were doing it. It's getting very complex very quickly. I'm going to tell you what I think in a couple minutes, but we'll go through. There's one more clip here I want to show you, and this is a surprise speech that Putin did at a very, very big event, a very big game that was taking place. And it's only about 6 minutes long, but I want you to keep in mind that the Russian language isn't a one-for-one translation. There's a lot of things in Russian that don't exactly translate. It's more like it's a more emotional language, kind of like Spanish in a way, in that sense. It's more about how it's said than actually what is said. So the way that it translates is probably going to seem a little bit off, but you'll get the general gist of this. And once we unpack that, we can move on. Before I get to the speech, here's a quick clip of, here's the civilians who are being liberated or met up with outside or just inside of this one area that they've secured, and they're checking, they're making them take off their clothes so they could look for, you know, likely tattoo locations, because they're literally looking for swastikas and Nazi paraphernalia. Check this out. I clearly heard Nazi and swastika in that sentence somewhere, and one of those, like, so, you know, I don't think he's too mad that he had to do it, because it's like, hey, at least you know, now you know.
Как вы думаете, это оправдано?
Проверка? Да, согласен. У нас полгорода ходит таких, особенно молодежь, которая бестолковая, блин. Вот буквально во дворе разговаривали, ему 19 лет. Начал спорить по поводу там патриотизма и прочее. Я говорю, ты начало помнишь всего этого? Нет, мне было 11 лет. Ну весь в паучках, блин, и крестиках.
Досматриваем. Женщин пропускаем, детей пропускаем, мужчин осматриваем, пропускаем дальше.
Проезжает. А много ли людей вообще, когда вот наплыв начался?
В первый день было не очень много, это 3 дня назад. Вчера уже было много людей, сегодня, как можете видеть, колонна тоже тянется довольно длинная.
Yeah, RT, the Russian CNN. Now, I'm sure, I'm sure they're just on their best behavior in front of their national cameras. So, there's going to be, hey, listen, if anybody's going to say that there's hijinks on both sides, it's going to be me that says it. In fact, there's 3 or 4 sides happening here. As I said a few days ago, there's more than just one hot take. But one important factor that you have to take away from all of this is that you're only exposing yourself if you're truly just going by the media that you pay for, that you have the time to watch when you come home from your employer and or your job, if you are the employer, whatever the case may be. You're pretty much going to have one take, and it's going to be shared ubiquitously across all of the media that the West envelops. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking at there. Now, I'm going to play you this speech here that he did. It's actually quite good. It's impressive, and I'll tell you why. Because, boy, can he string a sentence together, even in a different language, much better than Biden. Come on. That's like Weekend at Bernie's compared to like Lincoln. Anyway, I'm just shooting off the mouth here. I could turn this up a bit.
Мы многонациональный народ Российской Федерации, объединенные
Notice how they said multinational.
общей судьбой.
Let's see if I can back that up a touch there. Yeah, multinational people of the Russian Federation. This is very important because a lot of people typically have this ideology like twisted in their head that the Russians are completely communist. They are only partially communist, really. They have a lot of people from all over the world in Russia, and Russia is a big fucking place. It's huge, and it is a very multinational and very multicultural place, and also it's multifaceted religions as well. And their version of Christianity, by the way, is a bit of a detour from the Roman variation that we understand, because there was definitely a social like a geo-social divide, like literally a divide, and then also a socialistic divide that kind of made Russia the centerpiece in their big picture. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, if you have anything to say about what I'm saying, go ahead and say it in the friggin' comments, and we'll deal with it then.
Федерации, объединенные общей судьбой, на своей земле. Это первые строчки основного закона России, Конституции. И каждое слово наполнено глубоким смыслом, имеет огромное значение.
What? A Russian constitution? Get out. What, they have one too? Oh my. It's almost like... Well, Trudeau is actually trying to get rid of ours. He's trying to have the 1982 Constitution Act repealed. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. It's been filed. I don't think it'll see the light of day because too many people want to sue his government. And I do believe that their cases will take precedence.
На своей земле, объединенные общей судьбой. Так наверняка думали. И этим руководствовались люди, когда шли на референдум в Крыму и Севастополе 18 марта 2014 года.
Sevastopol, March 18. I promise I'll stop after this. I'll let it play through after this. But Sevastopol and Crimea, this is 2014 that he makes reference to, which was right around the time I did my first video on YouTube. It was actually my third video on YouTube. The first one I did was regarding it was the UN meeting where they had voted on basically demonizing Nazism and all the other isms that come along with the Nazi party. I guess that's the right word to use. The Nazi party that they put in as a proxy government into Ukraine back in 2013, and it was a group called ONU-B. Don't know how to say the actual words, but those are the freaking those are the initials for it. But anyway, Sevastopol, by the way, is the name of the city that holds the port facility in Crimea, where it is home to the Black Sea Fleet and their navy, which by annexing Crimea renewed the lease on the fleet itself for another 25 years, I believe. And it was to run out. Well, it would have expired by no fault of NATO if Crimea wasn't annexed and NATO started making the movements in, then the lease would have ran out, and I don't think Putin would have. He wouldn't let go of it's a what do you call it? Not a heritage. It's a long-standing part of their social pride, along with Ukraine and Crimea, and it's also tactically a very, very smart place to have a fleet, because, well, you got a lot of water there around to the south of Crimea there, and that's quite a body of water that you want to make sure that you maintain and watch over. Anyway, back to the speech.
Года они жили и живут на своей земле и хотели жить общей судьбой со своей исторической родиной, с Россией. Они имели на это полное право и достигли своей цели. Поздравим прежде всего их с праздником. Это их праздник. Поздравляем! За это время Россия немало сделала для того, чтобы поднять Крым и Севастополь. Нужно было сделать вещи, которые не видны сразу невооруженным взглядом. Они носят фундаментальный характер. Газоснабжение, энергоснабжение, коммуналка, восстановление дорожной сети, строительство новых дорог, магистралей и новых мостовых переходов. Нужно было вытащить Крым из той унизительной позиции, из того унизительного состояния, в которое Крым и Севастополь были погружены, когда находились в составе другого государства, и которое финансировало эти территории по так называемому остаточному принципу. Но дело не только в этом. Дело в том, что мы знаем, что надо делать дальше, как надо делать дальше, за счет чего. И мы обязательно реализуем все намеченные планы. Но дело не только в этих решениях. Дело в том, что крымчане и севастопольцы поступили правильно, когда поставили жесткий барьер на пути неонацистам и крайним националистам. Потому что то, что происходило на других территориях и происходит до сих пор, лучшее тому подтверждение. Люди, которые проживали и проживают на Донбассе, также не согласились с этим государственным переворотом. Против них тут же были организованы карательные военные операции. И не одна. Их тут же погрузили в блокаду, подвергли систематическим обстрелам из пушек, наносили удары авиации. Вот это все и есть то, что называется геноцид. Именно избавить людей от этих страданий, от этого геноцида является основной, главной причиной, побудительным мотивом и целью военной операции, которую мы начали на Донбассе и на Украине. Именно в этом цель. И здесь, вы знаете, мне приходят в голову слова из Священного Писания. Нет больше любви, как если бы кто-то отдал душу свою за друзей своих. И мы видим, как героически действуют и воюют наши ребята в ходе этой операции. Эти слова из священного писания христианства, из того, что дорого тем, кто исповедует эту религию. Но все заключается в том, что это универсальная ценность для всех народов и представителей всех конфессий России. И именно для нашего народа, в первую очередь для нашего народа. И лучшим подтверждением тому является то, как воюют, как действуют наши ребята в ходе этой военной операции. Плечо к плечу. Помогают, поддерживают друг друга. А если надо, то как родного брата прикрывают своим телом от пули на поле боя. Такого единения у нас давно не было. Так получилось, что начало операции совпало, совершенно случайно совпало с днем рождения одного из наших выдающихся военачальников, причисленных к лику святых, Федора Ушакова, который за всю свою блестящую военную карьеру не проиграл ни одного сражения. Он как-то сказал, что грозы сии пойдут во славу России. Так было тогда, так сегодня и так будет всегда. Спасибо!
Well, so I don't know. Where's all the hatred? Where's all the complaining? I thought the Russian people hated Putin. I thought Putin was a madman, psychotic. I mean, he smiled a little bit. Didn't look all uppity and crazy to me. I don't know, but we're being led to believe that all kinds of atrocities are taking place. Oh, someone's full of shit. Who? Who is it? Who is it? Can't be our news, right? Can't be our news media. Oh, no. No, because they're squeaky clean. No, yeah. Look, first off, I'll tell you what I think. Well, I know that NATO has been warned over and over and over again about encroaching too close to the Russian borders by way of the other countries. You know, everything from Moldova to Azerbaijan and Georgia, Ossetia, like all these places where there's other conflicts, where sometimes the EU might be either involved in one way or another. But a lot of this encroachment is, it's stressful on a leader, you know. And, you know, I always give the United States some credit because when the walls did crumble in the Soviet Union, they didn't move in right away to pick the spoils. But, it was probably one of the darkest times in the history of Russia during the 90s. It was a bad time to be in Russia, and even worse to be poor and to be in one of the bad spots. But it was basically about, I don't know, I guess I want to say about 7 years before Gorbachev was finally out of there. There's another gentleman there, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But by the time that Putin got in there. He was kind of like he was a bit of like a neoconservative type with some liberal whims, I guess you could say, and one hell of a history as a KGB agent, which we'll never know, but you can probably guess. The way that they've portrayed him in the past in their own media. Now here we kind of get like a comical view of things, or we get the other side, which is just straight negativity and nothing but non-confirmable, rhetoric, basically. But here's what's happening. Here's how I see it happening anyway. And like I said, Ukraine, just like Crimea and a lot of these other countries that were part of the member states of the Soviet Union, had been with the Soviet Union for hundreds of years. And now that they're being kind of picked apart by the EU and NATO, I want to take it back to the first video that I made. I'm not going to play it today because I'm going to be doing that on the on our weekend podcast on Truth Hurts over there, because I want to take you back to 2014, because when I learned about this, a friend of mine actually on Facebook who actually pointed a lot of stuff out to me here and there, and like kind of helped me in my journalistic beginnings, because I was like, holy crap, somebody else is paying attention, and I didn't know how to do that. Quite frankly, I was paying attention to a million different other things, and so that wasn't quite my forte. But I saw that and I was like, holy crap. Boom, turned on the research engine there, and then away I went. And I made a video, and I was really, really kind of calling out to all of you, saying, this is fucked up. Because Britain, United States, and Canada literally did not vote for condemning Nazis for either past war crimes or just for their social slant and being dicks. Did you know, by the way, it's okay now, right now it's okay to say the word Nazi and to show swastikas on Facebook? Right now it's okay, because that's who the leader of Ukraine is. What happened right after the Malaysian Air flight number, I want to say 170 or 17, MH170. I can't remember exactly, but it disappeared. Well, another plane exactly like it was shot down over the Ukraine and had a lot of festering, decomposing bodies in it. And there's a big hubbub of whether or not it was shot down by Ukrainian rebels, Russians on the border, or by the Ukrainian Air Force, actually. It's like, well, pick one, people. Like, somebody did that shit. Well, look, I'm telling you right now that there is no motive for that to be carried out by the people of Ukraine, by the actual residents or the citizens. I don't think there's a motive to shoot it down on Ukrainian soil by Russian weapons. There's just no, like, who benefits from that? I'll tell you who benefits. The Nazi leadership. Because if they can create a clear and present danger and at least create the image of one, then they can also create requests for help and more weapons and more money. And they get it. They get all the weapons and money they need. The United States can't just go in and start blazing. Like, some people are like, oh my God, they're going to get involved. They can't just do that. They can't. There's articles of war that have to be strictly observed. Like, this is this is like stay out. Like, like, everyone's been warned. First off, stay the hell out of their way. When they first went in there on day number 1, before there was an actual response and everything went fucking haywire and went to shit, here's what happened. Strategic surgical strikes are being made. Locations such as the Chernobyl general vicinity and the defunct power station, and there's a twin power station right nearby that's fully functional, by the way. I don't know if a lot of people might not be aware of that. In fact, that's where they filmed the TV show that came out a couple years ago. They actually used the second facility for a lot of those shots, actually. But that being said, like, they were taking very, very careful precision to make sure that civilians were not being hit. In fact, so many civilians were not being hit that suddenly we saw stories and people getting caught, like Ukrainian, well, I would say Ukrainian military just because they're in Ukraine, but I have a sneaky suspicion that these were brought in by the Nazi leadership and training some of the homegrown Ukrainians as well. And yeah, there's some witness testimony stating that they were lining up civilians and shooting them and then leaving as if to show that the Russians had passed through or something, you know. And then there's a few other bits that I actually don't want to talk about because they're rather dark, and I saw a few clips, and it made no sense. It made no sense. Like randomly targeting civilians, and like there's a few shots of that. And I remember at the time people were going, "Oh my God, the Russians are just insane! They're just insane!" But I think we're seeing a different picture develop. I'm not going to play this whole bit right here, but there's a fucking, pardon my swearing, guys. I'm trying to keep my swearing down. It's not really working. Do I have it here? Russia using thermobaric rockets. Those got to be freaking wild to see. I am in awe of things that explode, just so you know. I'm not saying that it's cool, but it's just like, it's powerful. Like, it's crazy shit, some of the stuff that they could do. But let me just see here. I remember in my feed, I saw this earlier. I just want you to see, though, where's that video? I guess it's gone. Oh, Ukrainian military officer tells how CIA behind the 2014 coup, removing President Viktor Yanukovych. That was one of the things featured in my video, because he basically got forced to get out of Dodge, and like, it wasn't publicized so, but he left in a hurry. I think he was gonna see some resistance. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. And look carefully.
Добрий вечір всім. Зазвичай в такі дні ми говорили, прийшла весна. А зараз говоримо, війна прийшла. Але все одно
You notice not a single fucking tree is moving?
переможемо.
Not a bush?
Ми вільні народи, вільної
It's a static
Протягом
picture
дня
behind him.
урядовці-
He's in a soundstage. He's nowhere near Kiev. He's on a soundstage. This time of year, you'd be able to see you'd be able to see his breath. There's no air movement. The trees aren't moving. The wrong light is splashing on him. Actually, there is a little bit of yellow light from here. I don't know. That's kind of, I just noticed that now. But everything else is off. It's just wrong. He's not in Kiev. He's not there. He's on a soundstage. Just listen to the sound. There's no. What are you gonna? What, these noise canceling technology to remove outside external white noise? Nah, come on. Anyway, it's just a little classier than what CNN got caught doing during the Gulf War. I don't know if you ever saw that, but during Operation Desert Storm. They did a whole green screen attack. Well, they were attacked by bullshit and cheesy writing. I swear it was horrible because somebody released a video of them actually filming it, and it was bonkers. It was like, what? You know, when you see that movie Wag the Dog, that is pretty much what they're talking about right there, is that event. But anyway, boom, bada bing bong bong. Yeah. Look, they just want to reunite Ukraine with Russia. It's that simple. They're sick of NATO's bullshit. They're sick of them encroaching on their borders, and they want to put a bit of space between them and NATO, and their forward basing. And of course, you know, this means heavy duty arming of the Arctic Circle as well, because there's also a passageway through the north, over the North Pole, coming right over from northern Canada, right on over. Right over the hole that's in the top of the planet for those middle, what do you call it, hollow Earth guys. But at least it's a round Earth. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is. That's all it's been. That's all this has been. And I like how it was phrased, because I mean, there's a script, obviously. I mean, especially when you're dealing with the general public, you're going to have a script. And I learned this in the military, you know, with urban pacification, POW handling, all sorts of stuff. There's going to be a general script that you go by. You know, you make it your own, just like in radio. But yeah, like I said, that could have been staged. It could have been staged. But even so, it has a lot of power in itself of how it was done, how it was staged, and what it is that they're staging. Like, you know, they could be staging things to make it look like the others are bad. The only thing that got said was that they're liberating the town from Nazis and criminals. And I agree. I agreed in 2014, hands down, that this was a bad idea. And you know why? You know why? I'll tell you why. Because Western ideologies don't work in like Slovenia and in Russia and in like in the Balkan Wars. Like our way of doing things, of handling things, or even the way that we emote, none of it is compatible with how those cultures have structured and evolved over the last several 500-600 years. And the politics that everything is based on is completely different. It's completely different. And, well, why don't we get ourselves some Nazis to go in there and be the proxy government? Because at least they'll understand what they're getting into, and it's actually not too far from the truth. That's actually pretty accurate, because they had to get people in there who understood the people so that they could shift the pitch and, you know, get some kind of amiable response and work on moving forward, you know. And that's what they did. Here we are, 2022. And I wouldn't mess with Putin. You'll get a hypersonic missile up your ass, you know. But this is horrible, because people are dying. This is the truth. I just don't know who's who here, because I don't know. I have a funny suspicion that what we're not seeing are actual Russians or old school ethnic Russians that live in Ukraine. I don't think they like their leadership either. I think they're the ones. Now, the kids, on the other hand, that's your X factor. And I'll tell you why. Because the kids that were 10 years old back in 2014, they're young men and women now. And, you know, despite everything that I've just said, a system that takes you in and coddles you and you grow with, you will defend it. You'll defend it to the death because it's better than what you had going into the situation as long as you can remember, or better than the situation they're telling you you're going to be in. So I feel for them. I feel for the young men and women that that are in this conflict, and that's the true loss here, is a loss of life, and you know, loss of culture. And at the end of this, there are going to be some people held responsible and held accountable. I just hope we see it. I just hope that we see it. I don't think Putin's out of his mind. You know, I said this about Trump way back, and I said that Trump is a piece of shit, but for different reasons than what they're saying on the news. For way different reasons. In fact, I still think I think he's the best president that they had in a long time, because if anything, he got the entire country together, working together, hating him. Actually, no. It was just the crazy fanatical right and his opponents, which was, of course, it was the whole Obama, Team Obama, and Hillary Clinton. But yeah, we won't talk about that right now. What we're gonna do though is I'm gonna leave you be. I'm gonna go get away from the computer because I've been on this goddamn thing all night. I've been backing up our server. I'm going to be pulling the kill switch today. I'm putting her down, wiping her, and starting anew and reloading everything onto it. I guess it's about that time, because I can't dick with it anymore. Just try to fix it. It's just one thing's wrong, and I find out that it's wrong. It's not working because this is wrong, and that's not working because that's fucked up. And it just was a cascade. It was just a cascade effect that happened. It was crazy. One of these days I'll go over it. Probably going to do a tech stream tonight. So stay tuned for that. It's gloriously fun. You get to watch me muddle through a bunch of crap and curse at the screen and smash my keyboard and throw my mouse. Fun. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. This is the Daily Noonerino. And look, in 15 minutes, it'll even be noon here. So that's proof that it's always noon somewhere. Anyway, guys, peace the hell out and love you. Thanks for watching.